Peace. What it is, it's your brother Tyvon Swainell, aka the Orthodox Moor. Shalom Aleichem. Assalamu alaikum. How y'all living, family? Real quick, I wanted to address a topic from a brother on a couple of brothers on Speaker's Corner involved me in. Link down below, I will have Brother Leon, aka Content Over Everything's stream of videos on this topic, where a Shia brother named Shia Eesa put forth the claim that he believed that Malcolm X was the originator or the father of modern day Sunni Coonism. And so real soon I'm gonna play a video where he breaks that down. And when it's over with, I'm just going to break down the concept of what the Orthodox Islam was of Malcolm X. Because Brother Eesa seems to believe that Brother Malcolm was endorsing Sunni Islam as his default Orthodox Islam, or that he was portraying that Sunni Islam was the Orthodox Islam. And so I'm going to play what Eesa was saying as his basic premise, and then I'm gonna jump into what my premise is. But without further ado, I'm gonna share my screen and get this popping. And so please go check out Content Over Everything, and go like and subscribe to my man's channel. And shout out to Leon and all the coverage that he does at Speaker's Corner. It's fantastic coverage.
Content Over Everything. So just say your premise, and then we understand what it's about. Are we ready now? Okay, go ahead. So, I presented, due to great misunderstandings of our brothers, and other words that would try to mislead people in regards to the accuracy of my speech, which is, when I talk about a religion and an ideology called Sunniism, I by no means do not mean Sunni versus Shia. I mean specifically Sunniism as it stands as an imposter ideology pretending to be Islam and is majorly anti-black. Has nothing to do with Shia. So for instance, when anyone mentions Pakistani Shias, Brother Riza for instance, he does not have 1,200 years of enslavement by Sunnis of Pakistanis. He has a theological difference. If he leaves Shiism, there's no issue. You understand? If I was to become a black Sunni, I'd still be like these others. Coons, Sunni coons. Simple. Do you understand my point? So regardless of the point, regardless of what people want to try and make it out to be, Sunni versus Shia, it's not Sunni versus Shia. If I mention Sunni, I'm talking about an ideology, a political ideology of conquest that is anti-black and has been since 1,200 years ago and continuing, to which black people are deceived and convert to feel black in power.
Okay, so bring this to the Maku example.
Okay, so the point was, Eesa, the black Tellect, made a statement to try and help black people understand the problem. Okay, so in my examination of how we got here, how could Afro-Americans, as they call it, black Afro-Americans, black Afro-Caribbean, black Afro-British, rush to this religion after leaving so-called slave Christianity? How could we then rush to Sunniism that has been anti-black for 1,200 years and claim this is a black liberation theology, ideology, and religion? So when we look in the history of this ideology, we find Malcolm X as a key major figure in promoting and legitimatizing this anti-black, ridiculous, barbaric, and savage ideology called Sunniism, hiding under the guise of a religion known as Islam.
So the question that you're asking is, repeat the question, sorry.
Is Malcolm X the leader of the leader of the modern day anti-black Sunni Coonism? Is Malcolm X the leader of the modern day anti-black Sunni Coonism?
So I'm gonna answer that question and say emphatically no. And again, I'm gonna link down below a conversation where Brother Leon from Content Over Everything actually involved me in a dialogue based upon this conversation here, where I tried to explain to my brother Shia Eesa that first and foremost, I want to explain something here. My man is a Shia Muslim, right? And so he has a big problem with Sunni Islam, as he just broke down, right? And so he believes that what Malcolm X brought led the people to a Sunni Islam and away from what he considers to be the true Islam, right? Which would be Shia Islam for him. And so as an American Muslim, I try to explain to the brother, like, well, actually, that's not the case. In America, the move towards Sunni Islam came from Muhammad, Muhammad, the son of Elijah Muhammad, who took the Nation of Islam in, I believe, 1975 and converted them to Sunni Islam when his father died. Farrakhan was a part of this and all of that. Farrakhan eventually left, but he was a part of this. And so when the Nation of Islam became Sunni Islam, or became Sunni Muslims, then the vast majority of black Muslims became Sunni Muslim. And to this day, the majority of Muslims in America are of African descent. And to this day, the word Muhammad, Sunni body of Islam, exists. We had a Muslim, Keith Ellison, who was elected to Congress, and he was part of that word Muhammad body, and he got elected. He was famously sworn in on Thomas Jefferson's Quran. So in America, that played a larger role in terms of what my brother's talking about. But specifically at this juncture, I want to get into what the brother was saying in terms of the Orthodox Islam that Malcolm X endorsed. Because I try to explain to my brother that the letter that he wrote back from Mecca, he was endorsing the Islam of Mecca, and he specifies. And brother. The brother that was also there with Eesa, Shia, his name was Shaka. The brother he was conversing with. Shaka read something off to where Malcolm X talked about the Orthodox Islam of Mecca, Cairo, and Lahore. Mecca, Arabia, Cairo, Egypt, and Lahore, Pakistan. So at this juncture, I'm going to do a small build on that Islam of that time. And so I'm going to ask that my man Shia Eesa please take this into account, and I would really appreciate your response on this. And I would really love to sit down with you on Content Over Everything and do another review on your last build with Shaka and talk about this concept here. So again, this is a famous picture of Brother Malcolm praying in a mosque. Again, so the Orthodox Islam of Mecca, Cairo, and Lahore. Right off the top, what is the Islam of Mecca? So again, the Islam of the Hajj is non-sectarian. Sunni, Shia, Sufi can all go to Hajj on Mecca, at Mecca. You know what I'm saying? So when Malcolm X was in Mecca, he was not there witnessing a sectarian divide of Sunni and Shia. As a matter of fact, the letter that he writes back, he talks about how the aspects of following the Hajj, it puts down all that sectarianism. And he speaks about how if people were to practice that form of Islam, that it could rid them of a racism, etc., whatnot. So he endorsed a non-sectarian view of Islam via Mecca and the Hajj, the Islam of the Hajj. Moving forward, in Cairo at the time, when Malcolm was making his trip and whatnot, and he endorsed this concept of the Orthodox Islam of Cairo. At the time, Gamal Abdel Nasser had basically forced Al-Azhar to issue a fatwa admitting Shia Muslims, Alawites, and Druze into mainstream Islam for centuries prior to this. Al-Azhar deemed them to be heretics, and this is basically like the main Islamic body, you know what I'm saying, in Cairo. And so there is this Al-Azhar fatwa that happens. Again, we're talking issued in 1959. This is prior to your man going over there, okay? This is prior to your man going over there. A fatwa is issued by the biggest Islamic school, jurisprudence, etc., the biggest ruling body in Cairo at the time, right? And so again, prior to this ruling, for centuries they had deemed Shia Muslims and others to be heretics. But via this fatwa, check this out. Let me read this to you right quick. Again, this is the Al-Azhar Shia fatwa, known in Arabic as the Shalut fatwa, is an Islamic fatwa issued in 1959 on the topic of Shia-Sunni relations by Sunni scholar Sheikh Mahmud Shaltut. The Shaltut fatwa. Under Shaltut, Sunni Shia ecumenical activities would reach their zenith. Okay, watch this. The fatwa is the fruit of a decade-long collaborative effort between a group of Sunni and Shia scholars at the Dar al-Taqrib al-Madhahib al-Islamiyya, right? Center for bringing together the various Islamic schools of thought. Theological Center at Al-Azhar University in Cairo. The aim of the effort is to bridge the gap between the various Islamic schools of thought and to foster mutual respect, understanding, and appreciation of each school's contributions to the development of Islamic jurisprudence. However, despite the ecumenical fatwa, while Shaltut was Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, he refused to establish an independent Shia chair at the university. Right. So yeah, was it 100% equal? No, because he didn't have a Shia chair at the university, right? But check out the fatwa. What does it entail, right? The aim of the effort is to bridge the gap between the various Islamic schools of thought and to foster mutual respect, understanding, and appreciation of each school's contribution to the development of Islamic jurisprudence. So again, the Islam of Mecca and the Hajj is a non-sectarian Islam. The Islam of Cairo, by law, by fatwa, was non-sectarian and check this out again, was to foster mutual respect and understanding and appreciation of each school's contribution to the development of Islamic jurisprudence and to bridge the gap between the various Islamic schools of thought. Moving forward, again, just to reiterate, this rare fatwa, which admits Shia Muslims, Alawites, and Druze, who had been considered heretics and idolaters for hundreds of years into mainstream Islam, has been viewed as being inspired by Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser, right? Again, so your man Nasser saw it as a tool to spread his appeal. Well, there's other stuff, right? But again, your man was meeting. Malcolm was meeting with leaders from all over the African world, including Egypt. Like your man Shaka brought out his links with Shia people, getting him to the Hajj and whatnot. Like, so there's no when I brought up to you the fact that within his Muslim Mosque Incorporated, you can never find a situation to where a Shia or a Sufi, for instance, was rejected by the Muslim Mosque Incorporated. In fact, when they first started off, they actually were right in line with the Nation of Islam beliefs, and then they switched over, and then this concept of this letter came over to where no, we're following the Orthodox Islam of Mecca, Cairo, and Lahore. So again, non-sectarian in Mecca, in the non-racist form. Okay, different than the Nation of Islam concept. Now it's the legal Islam from the fatwa in Cairo, to where, okay, we're rocking. It's cool if you're Shia, if you're Sunni, if you're Alawite, if you're Druze, all that. We're going to recognize your contribution to the Islamic schools of jurisprudence and whatnot. And now moving on to Lahore. Lahore was interesting because they literally have a Council of Islamic Ideology that was made in 1956, and we actually break down what happened with Lahore in Pakistan. These groups, there was a large group of Muslims that literally advocated for an Islamic independent state, right? And so it wasn't just Sunnis, it wasn't just Shias. It was literally when you look at the history of it, and at the time, again, this is all before Malcolm X gets to the Eastern world into Africa and whatnot. And after this, you see that in I'll show you what happened afterwards. But this group of Muslims that's advocating in Lahore for this Islamic state, they're a mixture of Sunnis, Barelvi, Shia, Deobandi, Ahmadis, Sufis, and Ahmadiyya. Come on, like, and that's a nationalist, a pan-Islamic and nationalist form. A pan-Islamic and nationalist form of Islam. Again, one more time, these groups of Muslims in Lahore that are advocating for this Islamic state to house all of them, right? They're Sunni, Barelvi, Shia, Deobandi, Ahl Hadith, Sufi, Ahmadiyya. That's a very wide swath of Islam right there. And many Shias were involved. When you get into the names involved, because eventually what happens is, let me see if I can look this up real quick. I'm gonna do this on the fly. Do this one on the fly. But I believe in 64, 65, let me double check. Lahore goes through a whole big issue. Hold on right quick. Let me get my information correct for you right quick. But bottom line is this, leading up to what happens to the time period I'm talking about. When is it? What is it called? I believe it's the Lahore Resolution or something of that nature. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Hold on right quick. Share my joy one more again. Yeah. The Lahore Resolution is what I'm talking about. So you see here, you got a bunch of different kind of Muslims together. You're talking about this All India Muslim League, right? And so what they advocated for was all of these different kinds of Muslims. You get from Ahmadiyya to the Sunnis to the Shias to the Sufi to the Deobandi, etc., all moving together for one Islamic state where they could all get together and do their thing and practice their thing how they needed to, like the individually, etc. So I can't see how Malcolm X was backing an Islam that was this Sunni Coonism that you're talking about, bro. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And it's not anti-African in any way, shape, or form because it's not anti-sectarian. It's not like anti any form that would be practiced in Africa. Now I don't know for you, like just the fact that it would be cool with the Sunni concept. You're like, oh well, that in and of itself is the Coonism. But we can talk about that because if Malcolm was a Sunni Muslim and these were his beliefs, that as a Sunni Muslim, he rocked with this Orthodox concept of Islam from Mecca, Cairo, and Lahore. I mean, there's a lot to say about that because, again, what Shaka and what I try to bring to you was the fact that he turned down millions of dollars to teach the Salafi form of Sunni Islam. He said no to that. He emphatically said no. And so when you look at the Orthodox Islam that he followed, one more time, let me share this screen again right quick. One more time, when you look at the Orthodox Islam that he followed, it was just real simple. The Orthodox Islam that he endorsed was the non-sectarian Islam of the Hajj, where Sunnis, Shias, and Sufis are present there. The legal position of Cairo, with a fatwa making Shias non-heretics, and an Islam that backed nationalism and non-sectarian pan-Islamism. An Islam that backed nationalism and a non-sectarian pan-Islamism. So, though that's my premise as for why I say he's not the father and the founder of modern so-called Sunni Coonism and whatnot. I would love to sit down with my brother Shia Eesa and talk about this concept, and also talk about some of his concepts as to why he believes that Shia Islam would be the best form of Islam for our people, and maybe compare and contrast that to my concepts on Quranist Islam, etc. I'm gonna have a good dialogue. But with that, I say wa alaikum salam, and I say peace and love. And again, one more time, please go check out Content Over Everything's channel. Brother Leon, he runs a fantastic channel. He has a lot of great content. He's got the best content at Speaker's Corner. So please go check him out and subscribe to his channel. And with that, I say peace and